She needed $50. So she sold her dreams to a man in the midnight. The clock struck 12:03 a.m. when the knock came. 3 slow taps that echoed through the paper-thin walls of the old apartment like a heartbeat in the dark. Mara froze. She wasn't expecting anyone. Not at this hour. Outside, the city murmured in its sleepless rhythm. Sirens in the distance, wind scraping against glass, and the lonely hum of a street lamp flickering across cracked concrete. Her rent notice lay open on the counter beside a crumpled $5 bill. The digits glared at her like a sentence. Due tomorrow, $50 short. She sighed, dragging her fingers through her tangled hair. If only dreams could pay bills, she muttered. Then the knock came again, this time softer, almost polite. Mara hesitated, then padded barefoot to the door. "Who's there?" she called, her voice trembling just a little. "Oz." Then a man's voice, smooth and measured. "Someone who heard you have something to sell." Her stomach tightened. "You've got the wrong place." "I don't think I do." She opened the door just enough to see him under the dim hall light. A tall man in an old-fashioned black coat. His face half-shadowed beneath a wide-brimmed hat. His eyes, when she caught them, were a silvery gray, sharp enough to slice through hesitation. "Intrigued?" he asked. Mara tightened the chain lock. "It's midnight. I don't sell anything." The man smiled faintly. "Oh, but you do. Everyone does. Some sell time. Some sell labor. You, Mara, you sell dreams." Her heart skipped. "How do you?" He raised a hand. "Names are easy. Dreams harder. But yours are vivid. You've been dreaming of oceans lately, haven't you? Waves that speak in whispers, skies that hum." Mara's breath caught. She had. Every night for weeks. "Who are you?" she whispered. "Someone who pays well for what most waste," he said simply. "I buy dreams. The fresh kind. Unspoiled by cynicism. You need $50, yes?" Her pulse thudded. "What kind of trick is this?" "No trick. You give me one of your dreams. I give you $50. Cash." He reached into his coat and drew out a small glass vial, glowing faintly blue. Just one. Mara should have slammed the door. But the thought of eviction, the cold, the hunger, the humiliation, pressed heavier than her fear. She swallowed hard. "How do I sell it?" The man stepped forward just enough for the light to touch his face. His features were ageless, almost carved. "You'll sleep. I'll extract it. You won't feel a thing. In the morning you'll have your money, and one less dream." She laughed nervously. "That's insane. Most truths are, until they cost us nothing to believe." Mara hesitated. The old wall clock ticked louder and louder. Her phone buzzed, a text from her landlord. "Rent by 8 a.m. or the lock changes." She looked back at the man. "50. He nodded. She bit her lip, then opened the door. "Fine. One dream." The man set his case on the coffee table, opening it like a doctor preparing an old ritual. Inside gleamed dozens of vials, each faintly glowing in hues of pink, gold, blue, each pulsing softly like captured heartbeats. He gestured for her to lie down on the couch. "Close your eyes." Mara obeyed, trembling. The air thickened, humming softly. She felt a strange pressure behind her eyelids, like her thoughts were being gently untangled. The hum deepened. Like soft, endless sea. Or dream. She was floating above it, watching her own memories of the ocean swirl and shimmer. And beside her, the man reached out, cupping the dream in his hand. The color drained from the waves, leaving them gray and still. When she opened her eyes again, the apartment was silent. The man stood over her, holding a glowing blue vial, the same shade as her ocean dream. He set it in his case, closed it, and placed a crisp $50 bill on her table. "Pleasure doing business," he said. She sat up dizzy. "That's it. That's it." He paused at the door. "Dream carefully, Mara. Some things once sold cannot be reclaimed." Then he was gone. Morning crept in pale and colorless. Mara blinked awake, her head heavy. She reached for her phone. The time. 7:12 a.m. She had her rent money. Relief washed over her, until she looked at her sketchbook. She had drawn the ocean every day for months. But now, when she stared at her drawings, something inside her felt hollow. The waves were meaningless. The blue, just pigment. She tried to recall how it had felt in the dream. The warmth, the salt, the sound, but nothing came. It was like remembering a word she had never learned. Days passed. Then weeks. She stopped dreaming altogether. Until one night, desperate, she went searching. She walked the empty streets toward the docks, where fog swallowed everything. The moon was a sliver of bone above the water. And there, standing by the railing, was the man again. His coat rippled in the sea breeze. In his hand, a vial glowing ocean blue. "I want it back," she said, voice trembling. He looked at her sadly. "It's already been poured." "Into what?" He nodded toward the horizon. Across the water, faint lights shimmered, like tiny stars dancing on the waves. "Into the dream market. Someone else sleeps in your sea now." Mara's knees weakened. "Please. I'll buy it back." He shook his head. "You can't buy what you no longer remember how to desire." Her throat tightened. "Then take something else. Anything." The man stepped closer. His eyes softened. "I warned you. Dreams are not currency to trade without consequence." He hesitated, then added quietly, "But you still have one thing left." "What?" He touched her chest lightly. "Your hope. I can give you another 50 for it." Mara stared at him, then at the dark, unfeeling water. For a long moment she said nothing. Then she turned away. "No," she whispered. "I think I'll keep that." The man nodded once, almost respectfully. Wise choice. When she looked back again, he was gone. Only the sea remained, glimmering faintly beneath the moon. For the first time in weeks, Mara closed her eyes. And though she couldn't dream, she imagined the waves singing softly to her, carrying her somewhere far beyond debt, beyond loss, into something like peace. Mara stood at the edge of the pier, the night wind tangling her hair. The man's silhouette wavered like smoke against the pale light of dawn. His case glimmered faintly. So many dreams sealed in tiny vials, glowing like trapped souls. "I want mine back," she pleaded, voice cracking. He looked at her with quiet pity. "It's gone, Mara. Sold and poured into another sleep. Someone else dreams your ocean now." Her knees weakened. "Then what am I supposed to dream about?" He sighed. "That's not my trade to teach." He began to turn away, but she caught his sleeve. "Please," she whispered. "Take something else, just give me that one dream again." The man studied her for a long time. His silver eyes flickered, not cruel, but anciently tired. "You still have one thing worth selling," he said softly. Mara's voice trembled. "What?" "Your hope," he murmured. $50, as before. She stared at him, at the cold bills in her pocket, at the horizon beginning to burn with morning light. She could almost hear the waves of her lost dream whispering beyond the fog. Then she shook her head. "No," she said. "Hope isn't for sale." The man smiled, just barely, and closed his case. "Then you'll be all right," he said. People who refuse to sell hope usually are. When she blinked, he was gone. Only the sea remained, whispering softly against the wood. Mara drew in a breath, tasting salt and wind.